Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, and today you're gonna find out what team will be my first rebuild in CFB 25. I narrowed it down to 16 different teams that all have a reason why I would be doing them first, but I decided to narrow it to one the only way I knew how. I made a bracket. So this is what the first round of the bracket looks like. I will eventually narrow it down to just one team, and that team will be the first rebuild you guys will see on this channel. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to take them to the Natty many times over. You know how it is. Rebuilds. So let's get into the round one matchups. Boise State and Alabama. Now, this is tough. I like the Boise field, and Alabama would be interesting to take over for Nick Saban and just kind of fill in some pretty big shoes. The only problem is that it's still not really a rebuild. Alabama still would not be a rebuild. Boise State would be, but Bama's won too much. I can't give it to them. I'm going with Boise State to move on. Next up, Navy and the triple option, and my school, my favorite team, the University of Michigan. Yeah, the triple option's cool and all, and it's a fun idea, but it's definitely not going to top back-to-backing with U of M. So Michigan moves on. Oregon State and Miami. Miami used to be good. Now they're bad. And Oregon State is the victim of a conference that has fallen apart. One of two remaining teams in the Pac-12. I feel like that is such an interesting concept to work with on a rebuild. I mean, you only got one guaranteed opponent, pretty much. I mean, we'd probably face Oregon every year too. But Miami, I just don't think I want to bring a school back to relevance. I think I want to bring a new national championship somewhere. And the Pac-12 thing is going to be really interesting. I'm going with Oregon State. The East Carolina Purple Pirates versus the Florida State Seminoles. Florida State got screwed this year. They should have been. They should have had a shot. They probably would have lost, but they should have had a shot at the title. Should I take the reins and then get them that shot at the title? Or do I go with East Carolina, a team I actually watched play? I was at. They played Michigan last year, and I watched them. Purple Pirates. They got trounced. I didn't know where East Carolina was. It's because you have North and South Carolina. West Carolina would be like to the west, but East Carolina you would just end up in the ocean. Which makes sense because they're Purple Pirates, and they're probably the college is on one big pirate ship. But I'm going with Florida State because I feel like Florida State fans are going to need something because they won't be good for a long time. And who knows? I can get them a title in the game. And in real life, they're not getting any. But in the game, sure. The UTEP Miners and the NC State Wolfpack. This one's pretty simple. I love NC State, and I don't play with Miners. So NC State moves on. Missouri and Rutgers. Oh boy. Rutgers, I watch Rutgers nearly every year. Michigan Rutgers all the time. And we laugh because Rutgers sucks, and they're never going to be any good because they're Rutgers. Missouri, in the SEC, they're on the upswing. It would be fun to play with Missouri and Luther Burden, but it wouldn't be a rebuild, so I'm going with Rutgers. The UCLA Bruins and the Marshall Thundering Herd. UCLA, I love UCLA. New Big Ten school, they're awesome. And Marshall, I remember when they beat Notre Dame, and that was awesome. The only problem is, I have to pick one, and I'm gonna go with the Thundering Herd just because it would be more of a rebuild. Like, UCLA's good at basketball. I think they need to stay in basketball. We're gonna make Marshall good at football. Alright. Colorado State and Texas A&M, both of these are selected because I would get to play a hated school every year. A&M and the SEC, I get Bama and Georgia and Texas and all those. And Colorado State, I get to play Colorado. And I would rather run with Colorado State than A&M just because it's going to feel so good to trounce on Coach Prime every year. It would be awesome. So Colorado State moves on. Here you can see, here's what the bracket looks like now. Second round begins now. Boise State and Michigan. Boise State's blue field is amazing. It's great. But it's not as good as the stadium as the Big House. So I'm going with Michigan. And they're my favorite team. I have to go with Michigan. Oregon State and Florida State. Do I value getting revenge over the committee and taking Florida State to the championship over getting revenge over the destruction of the Pac-12 and taking Oregon State? I would rather run up the Pac-12 and just see how that two-team conference would be doing a rebuild over taking a school that's, they've been alright. They probably won't be good this year, but they could be. And Oregon State won't be. So we're going Oregon State. Rutgers and NC State. This is a tough one. This one, I don't like having to pick one here. Rutgers has been, Rutgers, we laugh at Rutgers, and you always cheer for them. As long as you're not playing Michigan, you always cheer for Rutgers. It would be great to bring a championship to Rutgers. And NC State, NC State's great. The Wolfpack, I have many reasons to love the Wolfpack, including DJ Burns. But NC State's going to be good this year. They're going to make the playoffs this year, probably. And Rutgers isn't going to be good ever. So I'm going to have to go with Rutgers. Colorado State Rams versus the Marshall Thundering Herd. Both green teams, both true rebuilds. The only difference here is that Colorado State, you get to play Colorado. So I'm going to have to go with Colorado State. Here's the updated bracket. You get Michigan, Oregon State, and Rutgers, Colorado State in the semifinals. Here it goes. Oregon State and Michigan. Oh boy, this is a tough one. The idea of doing a rebuild with the Pac-12 and just two teams is amazing. But on the other hand, Michigan's my favorite team. The deciding factor here is that Michigan's going to back-to-back in real life. They're going to win the championship this year again. So why would I need to use a video game that I'm uploading to the internet to bring Michigan a championship when they're going to do it themselves? Whereas Oregon State is definitely not going to do it themselves. I'm going to say Oregon State moves on. Colorado State and Rutgers. Oh boy. I love Rutgers. I always say it. We always cheer for Rutgers. I always cheer for Colorado State too. I remember. Just stay up late, watch Colorado State, Colorado, and root my heart out for the Rams. And then they didn't do it. And it burns. So, I have to do it for them. Sorry, Rutgers. Rutgers, I'll be playing Michigan. And I don't want to have to play Michigan until the championship. Colorado State, I get to play against hated schools like Colorado, not loved schools like Michigan. We're going Colorado State, and that brings us to the championship. Oregon State, Colorado State, both state schools. They both have a rivalry game that I'm going to be excited to play every time. Oregon State, Oregon, Colorado State, Colorado. It's going to be wonderful. There's a problem with Oregon State. The Pac-12, the idea of doing a rebuild in the two-team Pac-12 is amazing until you think about how I'm not really going to know how to truly play the game. Sure, I will be playing it on my own before I even record a video so I don't look like a blithering idiot. And that's probably when I'll do Michigan. For myself, because you guys will already have seen enough of Michigan championships in real life. I will never get enough, so I'll do them myself, but for you guys, the first one I'm doing will either be Oregon State or Colorado State, and if I don't want to look like a blithering idiot, I probably shouldn't be in the two-team Pac-12. Because I'm going to have to work with conference realignment and scheduling and a lot of stuff that I don't feel like I will fully grasp in my first rebuild. Whereas Colorado State, you got a clear-cut confidence, you're staying in it. The only thing I really have to schedule is make sure I'm facing Colorado every year, which I believe the computer will do that for me. And they're in the Big 12, right? I'm pretty sure. But they're not in like a top conference. And I say that because after a few years in the Pac-12, I would probably use the conference realignment thing to move Oregon State in the Big 10. I'd probably go Big 10, and maybe that's something I do. I just don't think I should do that first. So, the Colorado State Rams will be my first rebuild in college football 25. Hope you're excited. Any Colorado State fans watching, really super pumped. Leave me ideas in the comments of teams you want me to do after Colorado State, because obviously I'm not just doing one rebuild. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.